Hi, I'm Bob Sweeney with the City of Juneau Cable TV Channel 991 here at the Juneau Public Safety Building with Chief of Police Dave Beal to find out important issues for public safety here in the month of March. Hi, Dave.
Hi,
How are you doing?
I'm doing fine.
Good.
Are you enjoying the warmer weather?
I do not like cold weather, so yes.
Yes, neither do I. Neither do I. But we'll start off talking about a little weather-related stuff. The snow and ice removal ordinance that the city does have, when the ice storm, if you want to call it such, some people forgot to get out there and clear their sidewalks and put salt or sand on their sidewalk so it wouldn't be slippery. The police department ended up going out and hanging about 30 plus notices so that people would get their sidewalks cleaned off.
So those are warnings?
Those are warnings,
Mhm.
but if they're not done when we go and check them the following day, then they're given to DPW to be treated or cleaned off, which does incur a fee. And I think that's between $60 and $100.
So did the warning do good?
Well, they did good, plus Mother Nature helped them out quite a bit too, but needless to say, you can't always bank on Mother Nature being helpful.
Yeah.
In this case, Mother Nature was, and a lot of people did take care of them, but
Even though it's March and then we're going into April, that doesn't mean we can't have some more ice storms, does it?
oh, definitely. And winter parking still goes till April 15th,
Okay.
and we've seen it hit on the 14th or the night of the 15th where we've had big storms come through.
So when are people not allowed to park in the street up until April 15th? What time of the day are they not allowed?
From 2 a.m. till 6 a.m.
Unless they get permission from
Unless
you?
they get permission. And with this type of weather where the ground is starting to thaw out and you got mud and that forming now, if you have a reason that you can't park, be it in your driveway or some people have to park on their yard in the winter time, give us a call. Give us a call at the police department if we're not in the office at night. Leave a message, and unless there's a major snowstorm coming through, it'll be okay. You won't get a ticket. But for the people that don't bother to call us, and if we're out there hanging parking tickets at night, they'll get a ticket.
Okay.
With the nicer weather, now also comes the dog feces. As I was getting ready to come in here, I had a gentleman at the window with that type of complaint, actually, where there's a dog that comes and does his duty on their front lawn, and the owner just keeps on going and doesn't pick it up. So we got to remember to do that as a dog owner, to pick up after your dog. And if you are a property owner and own a dog, you must keep your property picked up as well. In the wintertime, a lot of people let it go, and because it gets snow covered and frozen and whatever. But now with the warmer weather hopefully approaching and sticking around, that needs to be picked up and cleaned up.
Okay.
So now, one of the bigger issues, we'll switch gears a little bit, and crossing guards. We are in desperate need of crossing guards. About 2 weeks ago, we had 3 of the 4 out for the day. And we only have 1 spare because we have 2 spares total, but one of them pretty much took on the full-time spot when we had a retirement. So we kind of only have 1 spare. So that left 2 members of the police department being out there doing crossing guard, and that's fine, but if an officer is out doing crossing guard, that means that the officer isn't in the squad car patrolling the different areas that we should be. So we talked about this at public safety, anywheres from splitting shifts to, the need may come that we have to put orange flashing lights up, and or of the 4 spots that we have now, they won't be filled with a person. There just won't be anybody there. So if you're know of anybody or yourself could possibly do it, and you could only do it in the mornings, that's fine, or only in the afternoon. It's not where you have to be available to do both morning and afternoon, but we are desperately looking for crossing guards. We currently pay $15 an hour. You get paid a half hour for each shift. So if you do the morning and afternoon, that's 1 hour of pay a day.
And when do they start in the morning?
Right around 7:20-ish.
Okay, and in the afternoon?
And it's pretty close to about 3 o'clock. Like down at the school, you might get down there 5 minutes sooner or whatever, but by the time they get up to, say, like Quick Trip, you can probably get there at 10 minutes after 3 and still be fine. But and it doesn't have to be just a retired person. It can be anybody. And like I said, we're willing to work with people if they can only do fill in as needed, and just do the mornings or just do the afternoons. At this point, we'll take them all.
Okay.
So other than that, we've been busy. There isn't a shortage of complaints, by no means. I'm just trying to think of some of them that I can actually talk about. I'll just lightly touch on the fact that we've been working on some drug complaints, and needless to say, the drugs that are in the big cities are in the smaller communities. It doesn't go by population or region anymore. They're here.
Now, do you work with a task force?
We are part of the drug task force for Dodge County, yes.
So who's all involved in that?
Pretty much all the law enforcement jurisdictions, not all of them, but a majority of the law enforcement
In Dodge County?
in Dodge County. And then Dodge County, has partnerships with drug task force outside of Dodge County, because again,
Right.
just like crime, drugs don't stop at the county line or city limits, and they reach over, something that's going on here where a person might be selling or buying it, typically leads to another jurisdiction. Supply and demand.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, and the sad part is with some of the drugs that are out there, there's been some, shall I call, bad batches, which have caused some overdose deaths.
Fentanyl.
It's been mixed in, and so yeah, it's just scary to think that that's out there, and that some refer to it as a hybrid drug with the fentanyl mixed in and that, but
So what should people be looking for in the community for helping you?
well, I mean, if you notice a neighborhood or some place where you see a lot of traffic in and out, and again, that's not always a telltale sign, but if there's a lot of vehicle and foot traffic in and out, that could be an indicator. Late at night parties where they go into the early evening, or I should say early morning hours, that sometimes just the natural appearance of a person can be an indicator. The open sores, the itching, the scabs, weight loss. sometimes loss of hair and teeth. Um, so there's those. Um, it's not just needles that people, syringes that people are using. They're just snorting it or ingesting it if it's pills. Um, so there's a lot of different things like that to look for, you know, um, change in behaviors, change in appetite even. It's not just the eating the brownies and now, they always had that with the marijuana, that you get the munchies after that. That is true, but there's other drugs that cause you to eat or whatever too. So um, as I often refer to the comment that it's not the same Juneau it was 20, 30 years ago, and neither are the drugs that are out there.
Yeah.
That's accessible, and it's not just the young people, it's the older people as well.
All right. Anything else with that?
Not with that, besides the drug complaints that we've had, there's been some family calls where there's been family trouble and calls like that.
You getting any calls on scams?
That's a never-ending,
Ongoing thing.
thing. When you think you got one taken care of, another one pops up. Just actually a few minutes ago, my personal phone rang, my cell phone, and it was some message about my Amazon account. Well, I personally don't have an Amazon account, so I know I wasn't charged $800 on my credit card for it. So I opted not to press one.
But we have to be careful, don't we?
We do, and they just, boy, they just, once they get you on the phone and start to say that there's a problem with something, they're persistent to the point where they kind of wear you down. I just remember a case where they would call the person day and night, almost around the clock, and almost like preyed on the fact that the subject wasn't able to sleep. And
there are websites that people can go to block some of these calls. The one that we personally use at our house on our landline is No More Robo or something like that. No Robo or something like that. So if you do a search, you can perhaps get your phone number on that. So the way it works for us, if it's a number that is calling us that this company knows of already, the phone will ring once and then not anymore. You just disconnect it. Other ones, we take a look at our phone and see if the number matches something that we know of.
Sure.
And oftentimes, on the little indicator, it'll say unknown. So we'll let the phone ring until the answering machine comes on, and usually it just hangs up. So there are steps we can take to try and alleviate our problems with those.
Oh, definitely. I mean, caller ID is a great tool. I know sometimes they spoof current numbers, and you'll see, especially like a cell phone number, a 210 cell phone, and you'll think it's somebody local. And I actually had it where a friend of mine's number was spoofed, so I thought I was answering a call from that person. Because I had their number and name entered into my phone log, and when I went to answer it, no, it wasn't the case. So,
Right, just be aware, right, and be careful.
but yeah, letting it go to the answering machine is if in doubt, let it go to the machine.
Yeah.
If it's somebody important, they'll leave a message, and if not, they apparently didn't want to talk to you too bad.
Yep.
So. But yeah, that's kind of, in a nutshell, what's been going on. We've been in the school reading to the kindergarten classes at St. John's and at Dodgeland, and our counter, I gotta reel that one back, our Think program.
Is it change of a name?
Yeah, change of programs, change
Okay.
of the name. Think program. It's basically the same program, same concept as far as making choices and that we share with the students.
And what grade levels are that?
That's fifth grade
Okay.
that we do. That's getting started, so that'll be going on, coming up.
Why is it fifth grade? Why did you choose that grade?
I think because that's sort of how the program is designed and the thought is at that level, grade level, is when the kids start to
Are more likely to make
are
bad
more
decisions?
likely to be exposed to some of these issues and or, like you said, make bad decisions, but
Is this a national program?
it is.
Okay.
It is.
So there are
Yeah.
guidelines that you follow there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. There's a regular class study format that's followed. Very similar to the DARE program, the Counteract program. Counteract is a program we used to have, and it moved over to Think now.
And that helps get you into the school building. How does that help you?
Yes. Well, the big thing is, the interaction and the connections that we make with the students, and that's why we love interacting with the kindergarten classes. Because I always said when we can get them when they're this little, we can hopefully grow with them all throughout their school career and beyond. It's a little harder to do that at the high school level. You hope that between the elementary and middle school levels that you're able to form those bonds. And
Is there a resource officer at Dodson now?
we do not have a dedicated one as of yet. We're looking at putting an officer back in the school. As you know, when Sergeant Borchert was here, she was our school resource officer, and then after she left, we had COVID. And
Well, that and your numbers were down here in your squad.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then we had COVID come along, which prevented outside people from going into the school on a regular basis because they wanted to, and so did we. We wanted to stay as safe as possible, and then with staffing shortages, it you can only spread yourself so thin in that. So we're back to full force, and we're hoping to get back into the school and build on the programs that we had in the past and make them bigger and better.
Okay, anything else?
I think that'll do it.
All right, thank you.
Okay, thank you.